The knock on my door that morning had a strange familiarity to it. Steady, confident, as if the person on the other side still believed this was their home. When I opened it, there she stood, Madison, my ex-wife. Perfectly dressed, not a hair out of place, her perfume instantly transporting me back to a life I'd left behind. "Hi, Jack," she said with that same practiced smirk. "I was in the neighborhood." I raised an eyebrow. In the neighborhood? Huh? Or just visiting memory lane? She laughed lightly and stepped inside without waiting for an invitation. Her eyes roamed the apartment, the one she'd abandoned a year earlier. "You missed me, didn't you?" she murmured, her voice thick with arrogance. She always thought she had that effect on me, that her presence alone could unravel everything I'd rebuilt. But she was wrong. She didn't know the version of me that existed after her betrayal, the man who'd found peace without her chaos. Madison had always needed control, needed attention the way others need air. When she started seeing someone else, she didn't even bother to hide it. Late-night work meetings, new outfits she never wore around me, business trips that always matched her coworkers' schedule. When I finally confronted her, she looked me straight in the eye and said something that still echoed in my mind. "You'll forgive me eventually. You always do." But I didn't. I signed those divorce papers with a smile and told her, "You'll regret this, not because I'll get revenge, but because I'll stop caring." And I did. It took time, but I rebuilt myself. I learned to enjoy quiet mornings, simple routines, and eventually, companionship with someone she'd never imagine. So when Madison appeared at my door again, perfectly made up, radiating false confidence, I didn't feel anger or longing. I just felt amused. She drifted through the apartment, fingertips brushing the furniture, eyes scanning every familiar detail. The leather couch, the framed pictures, the scent of fresh coffee. "It feels just like it used to," she said softly. "Not really," I replied. "Back then, this place was filled with tension. Now it's peaceful." Her smile faltered for a moment, then she tried to recover. "Come on, Jack. You don't have to act tough. I can tell you missed me." Before I could answer, the sound of footsteps came from behind me. Madison's smirk returned. "You've got company? Don't tell me it's one of your rebound flings." Before I could respond, the bedroom door opened, and out walked Hannah, Madison's best friend. Her hair was tousled, one of my shirts draped over her shoulders, and she had that unbothered calm that instantly shifted the balance in the room. Madison froze, her confident mask slipping. You're kidding," she stammered. Hannah crossed her arms, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "Do I look like I'm kidding?" The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush the air between us. Madison's eyes darted from me to Hannah, disbelief written all over her face. For once, the woman who always needed control had none. It was poetic justice, rare, clean, and absolute. I never planned any of this. Sleeping with Hannah wasn't some act of revenge, it just happened. She was there after Madison left, helping me pack up the pieces of my life, helping me breathe again. What grew between us wasn't born from anger, but from understanding. Madison's betrayal had scarred us both, just in different ways, and somehow, together, we built something real, something honest. Madison tried to take control of the situation, her voice trembling beneath a mask of confidence. "You, too? That's disgusting. You were my friend." Hannah didn't even blink. "And you were like a sister to me, until you treated him like he didn't matter. You had someone good, but you threw him away because your pride couldn't handle peace." Color rose in Madison's cheeks. She turned to me, searching my face for some kind of reassurance. "You really replaced me with her." I took a slow breath, stepping closer. "No, Madison. You left a space in my life. Hannah didn't replace you. She just respected me enough to fill what you left empty." The tears Madison was probably saving for pity never came. Instead, she gave a hollow laugh and shook her head. "You and my friend. How pathetic. You really think this will last?" Hannah smiled softly and rested her hand on my arm. "It already has, longer than any of your promises ever did." Madison spun around to leave, but before she reached the door, I spoke quietly. "You were right about one thing." She froze. "What's that?" I met her eyes. I did miss you, until I realized peace feels better than pain. She didn't reply. She just turned and walked out, quietly, the same way she had a year ago. Only this time, I didn't follow. When the door clicked shut, Hannah looked up at me with a small smile. You okay? I nodded. Better than I've been in years. She leaned against me, her head resting on my shoulder, and for the first time, the silence in that apartment didn't hurt, it healed. In the end, Madison faced the one thing she'd always feared. Not my revenge, but my indifference. Because nothing unsettles a narcissist more than realizing the person they thought they controlled has moved on. Peacefully, joyfully, and without them.